Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Is there any background noise?
No, ma'am.
So are you up with any opinions about what we have covered so far? Let's cover the part that Nanika, you were talking about. That line wasn't there in this text.
मैम वो लाइन थी ना जहाँ पे कार्डिनल और फर्डिनेंड उसको समझा रहे थे इसको क्या करना चाहिए, जहाँ पे वो बोलती है फाइस्टर, जहाँ उसको मतलब गलत फहमी हो जाती है अकॉर्डिंग टू फर्डिनेंड कि वो किसी और चीज के बारे में बात कर रहा होता है, लेकिन वो कहीं ना कहीं वो फैलिक इमेजरी होती है.
I'm talking about this line. It's here. It's after cardinal leaves. We did it until the cardinal leaves. Right?
आफ्टर कार्डिनल लीव्स एग्जिट कार्डिनल, हाँ उसके बाद बॉर्नयार्ड के बाद.
So हाँ अब हम आते हैं वहाँ. Now we are here. No, this is the last dialogue of Vignana. Yes, after the cardinal leaves, we did it until this point. The Duchess says, I think this speech between you both was steady. It came so roundly off. She means that the way you ended it up, the way you came up with the ultimate message in what you said, it appears that you have well prepared it beforehand. You were prepared with it. It's not that it was a spontaneous conversation, but it was well weighed, well prepared. Ferdinand then says, you are my sister. This was my father's poniard, you see. So for now, you just have to bear in mind this mentioning of you are my sister. Was it out of sympathy that he says you are my sister? We'll complete this dialogue and then come back to the question, why does he mention you are my sister? This was my father's poniard, you see. I would be loath to see it look rusty because it was his. Which means I will not let this go rusty, means not be of use, but I will want that this is always in use. This used to be associated with honor in that time, that a sword will not go rusty only if it's put into use always, which means it's always used to cut the throats of the enemy. Now, enemy can be defined in various ways, and in different contexts, the definition of enemy changes. So it would be honor of the family that the poniard, the dagger, would not go rusty, and that he would keep it in good shape when he puts it in use, keeps it in use. He means that even if you are my sister, remember that I will not let my father's poniard go rusty. One that even if it requires me to kill you to keep the poniard in good shape, I will do that for the honor of my father. Second, I would be loath to see it look rusty because it was his. I would have you give over these chargeable rebels. I will have you to give over means give these up. These chargeable, he is making use of the language that comes from the position he occupies, which means he is using his own jargon. He attends the court. He passes judgment against a criminal and accused, and he here charges his sister for her revels. Revels means revels. Revels means
पता नहीं.
pleasures, entertainment, engaging in pomp, and keeping yourself enthusiastic always. But these revels, he says, are chargeable. A visor in a mask of whispering rooms. Now, you know what a visor in a mask is, you know about masquerades. Romeo and Juliet is set in that occasion where a masquerade is happening. A mask means a carnival. A carnival means these are some 10 days that Christians celebrate. It's perhaps after Easter or something. I don't exactly remember when do they celebrate it. It's around the time when we today celebrate Halloween. It's November. So what generally happens in November is that when we celebrate Halloween, it was believed at that time that in these days, in these few days, or around 10 to 12 days, what do they do is that they put all rules and regulations and discipline in abeyance, and no rules are followed in these days. So order is kept in abeyance, 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 means it's not in use in these days. So disorderliness is the rule of that time. So this is called, it used to be a kind of a fair when you can break any rule. So you generally find this followed in Jacobean drama, in Elizabethan drama. These masquerades are used to break the rules of the ruler, not just the ruler, but also the moral principles. Disorderliness is the order of these masquerades or carnivals. Then what is set in this time is that there is also sexual perversiveness that you see, sexually perverse behavior being followed by the characters, because it's a masquerade and nobody will judge you by the perspectives that's by the prescriptions of the society, which generally are followed, and these moral prescriptions are not followed during a carnival. The same happens in Halloween, is that it turned into, over the ages, it turned into um, not following good means you follow evil, and therefore you take the image of not any visage, means you don't put a mask on your face and hide your identity, but also that you try to identify yourself with the devil, and you color yourself, paint your faces in that manner that you don't look the way you should. You are not associated with anything good, but more with evil. It's not just painting your face, because then even painting yourself like a clown would make you look like a Halloween, a person celebrating Halloween. But that's not the case. There's only particular kind of colors that you can use, paint yourself, particular visages that you can use. So this is deterioration of what carnivals were meant to be into what Halloween is now understood to be. So in masking and visor that you use, a visor is a masked man. What you do is that you hide your identity. A visor and a mask are whispering rooms. It allows you, whispering rooms means it allows for whispers. If you change your identity, it allows for whispers, means people will be talking about it, that were never built for goodness. And these rooms means taking the help of a mask to hide your identity is something that is built not for goodness, but there's always something evil associated with masking yourself. Fare ye well. And women like variety of courtship. After having said that, I leave you there, he comes back and says, and women like variety of courtship. Women, this is Ferdinand's opinion about women, that women like varieties of courtship. They don't sustain by just a single courtship. That's Ferdinand's idea. What cannot a neat knave with a smooth tail make a woman believe? A neat knave. Knave means a knave means
जो वो होता है सोल्जर जैसा ही एक
a soldier, but not of a reputed class. What cannot a neat knave with a smooth tail make a woman believe? With a smooth tail, he can tell you a smooth tale and he can make any woman believe in it. He is again hinting at that a knave will come, tell you smooth tales, and take you the way Antony was able to um, lure Cleopatra, and Cleopatra was able to lure Antonio. Maybe the smooth tales did that. And the woman would believe them. Farewell, lusty widow. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is one, it begins with you're my sister, it ends with lusty widow. In what I pointed out is that you have to pay attention to Ferdinand's relation to his sister, Ferdinand's relation to the widowed duchess. Exit. The duchess.
मैम यहाँ पे मुझे डिफरेंट लिख कर है
हाँ बताओ.
मुझे यहाँ लिख कर है जहाँ पे आपको ये लाइन है अ वुमन लाइक वैरायटी ऑफ कोर्टशिप मुझे यहाँ पे लिखे अ वुमन लाइक दैट पार्ट व्हिच लाइक द लैम्प्रे hath never a bone in it
Like the lamprey.
hath never a bone in it
आप लाइन भी पढ़ो, लाइन भी डिफरेंट है.
हाँ लाइन ही डिफरेंट है वही मैं बोल रही हूँ
Okay, so this is what I said yesterday. I saw your text is different.
हाँ
Wait for a while. I'll get my book. In my text, we have Ferdinand says, "You are my sister. This was my father's poniard. Do you see? I'll be loath to see it look rusty because it was his. I would have you to give over these chargeable rebels, a visor and a mask, a whispering rooms that were never built for goodness, fare you well. A woman like that part which, like the lamprey, hath never borne in it."
यस मैम यही है मुझे
Yes, this text has missed some 4 lines. There are 4 lines, and in fact, there's a dialogue by Duchess also in between. The text reads, "And women like that part, comma, which, comma, like the lamprey, hath never a bone in it." It is a sexual innuendo, which means a woman in a man likes that part of a man which, like the lamprey is an eel fish. Eel is a fish that doesn't have a bone, means a boneless part in a man, which, like the lamprey, hath never a bone in it. So it's a phallic. It's not a phallic symbol. It's a sexual innuendo. Phallic symbol means what's mentioned. The symbol that's given in a text is like the male organ. That's called a phallic symbol. Or we can take lamprey as the phallic innuendo, but not a phallic symbol. A woman like that part which like the lamprey hath never a bone in it. Duchess, fie, sir. She feels offended and she says, "Fie, sir." And Ferdinand then says, "Nay, I mean the tongue. You mistook me. I didn't mean that part without a bone. I meant the tongue. Tungue. Nay, I mean the tongue. Variety of courtship. And then it's variety of courtship. So it's a women like, and then there is more to it. A women like that part which like the lamprey hath never a bone in it, Duchess Spicer, Ferdinand Nay, I mean the tongue. Variety of courtship, what cannot a neat knave with a smooth tail make a woman believe? Farewell, lusty woman. And now he converts that smooth eel-like fish lamprey into a smooth tail said using a tongue. So he changes his perspective. And then finally he says, farewell, lusty widow. Exit. Is that it, Anika?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Keep an eye on the text. Maruk, do you have this text alone that you're using, the one that we have, and Samia?
I
Okay,
Yes, ma'am. I had only this text because it was not in my syllabus, so I'm using this
fine.
one. I don't have.
You will look into this text while I'll read from my book now on text, okay? In case you find that there are slight differences, stop me.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
We have done this part also, where the Duchess is now speaking to Cariola. I'll only move into the important parts because you know the story that the Duchess is now telling her heart out, putting her heart out in front of Cariola. Cariola does feel that there is something, some misfortune is there ahead because what she is doing is not, that will not have consequences. So she is scared of what the Duchess is doing. Shall this move me if all my royal kindred lay in my way unto this marriage? I would make them my low footsteps. Making them low footsteps means that she will only make use of them, murder them, use them as bodies to rise up in their status in the social ladder. She will rise up using the same bodies and reach her goal, which is to marry this man who who does not have the same social status as she has. And even now, even in this hate, has men in some great battles by apprehending dagger have achieved almost impossible actions. I have heard soldiers say so. So I, through frights and threatenings, will essay this dangerous venture. And then she says that when soldiers apprehend that there is some danger in a battle, when they are able to understand that some danger lies ahead, what do they do? The same fear have let them achieve impossible actions. And I will do the same thing. I have heard soldiers say so. And I will do the same thing. These threatenings will, I'll not just spare them, but this will help me achieve what impossible lies ahead. And this will essay the dangerous venture. Essay means help her achieve what she wants to achieve. Let old wives report, I winked and chose a husband. Old wife means old wives' tale shortened. Let old wives report. Let people in future report means retell the tale of mine, of marrying a man of my choice. That I winked and chose a husband, that it was I who approached a man, not a man who approached me. Cariola, to thy known secrecy, I have given up more than my life, my fame. Has any of you read The Rover by Afrabin? Afrabin's
No,
Rover?
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So this was kind of a very bold um, female act in that time, where a female would propose a man for marriage. We already have one female like that in Rover. So, and here, and Afrabin was a very bold female writer of the time. But we also find Webster doing the same thing, creating a very great female in his text, the Duchess, and naming the text by her name, the Duchess of Malfi. But also, we can raise this question that if he wanted to write for a female, why does he change the title of the next text to White Devil when the story is almost the same? Why not name that text also by the leading female character? Why would he name it White Devil instead? Moving on, Cariola, to thine own secrecy I have given up more than my life, my fame. So today my fame is in your hands. That you have to keep it a secret to safeguard my fame. Cariola says your life and your fame both will be safe. For I'll conceal the secret from the world as verily as those that trade in poison keep poison from their children. So it's like I am the one who trades in poison, but still I have to take care that I have to safeguard my duchess. So she says people who trade poison, make poison, manufacture poison, how do they keep their children safe? I will do the same thing. It's like this secret can kill you, and I have to keep this secret safe with me. Otherwise, it'll lead to your death. Duchess, thy protestation is ingenious and haughty. I believe it. Is Antonio come? Carol here attends you. Good dear soul, leave me but place thyself behind the arras, where thou mayest overhear us. Wish me good speed, for I am good into a wilderness. Why does she ask her to go behind the arras? Can you tell me? What's the point?
विटनेस रहने के लिए
Yes. So this marriage will
कि
now
अगर
happen in a chamber. The chamber in Romeo and Juliet, you have a secret marriage happening in this clandestine affair that Romeo and Juliet have, and this marriage happens in the prior. The father is being spoken to, and the time is fixed. The time is fixed. The Juliet is going to come. Romeo is going to come, and this prior is going to read certain prayers, and they will be married. Other than these, who is going to be the witness? Just so who other than them, who is the witness?
God
Romeo and Juliet. No, there's Romeo and
अच्छा
Juliet. There is this groom and the bride. There is a friar who will read the prayer, and other than that, there is again the same kind of a maid of Juliet who bears the witness. In here, what we have is that there is no prior. There's the bride, there's the groom, there's the maid as the witness, and there is somebody who is reading the prayers. Who is it?
मैम आप रिपीट कर सकते हैं सवाल
I said there's the bride, there's the groom in the story, there's a witness in the figure of the maid, and there is somebody who reads the prayers, but not a friar. Who is reading the prayers?
um,
Who is reading the prayers?
Duchess of Malfina
No, both. The bride and the groom are reading the prayers themselves. If you didn't read it that way, we'll read it again.
यस मैम मुझे पता समझ लगा मैं गलत बोली
बोला ही मत करो. Let's move on. Wish me good speed, for I am going into a wilderness. Means she may not know where the path leads. She is going into the wilderness, where I shall find no path, nor friendly clue to be my guide. Carula goes behind the arras. The Duchess draws the traverse to reveal Antonio. I sent for you. Sit down. Take pen and ink and write. Are you ready? She already knows it's going to be a marriage that's happening right now. What does she say? She says, I will I will do what's most feared. Let everybody know I winked and I chose a husband. But Antonio doesn't know anything about it. He just knows that he has been called for and he has been the keeper of accounts earlier for the Duchess. And by treason or whatsoever, he has been drawn out of the court by the brothers, but now he's back. And now secretly he comes and meets the Duchess, after having come back. Take pen and ink and write. Are you ready? Um, can I have somebody again play Antonio? I'll only stop you when I think you will not understand this better by what has been written in the text. Um, come on, Anika. I want you to play it again, not read it. Play it, okay?
Okay.
Hmm. Are you ready?
Yes,
What did I say?
that I should write somewhat.
Oh, I remember. After these triumphs and this large expense, it's fit, like thrifty husbands, we inquire what is laid up for tomorrow. So,
So please, you.
wait,
Huh.
let's dig deeper into what the Duchess has to say. Uh, why does she say, what did I say?
मैम क्योंकि वो नर्वस होती है क्योंकि मतलब ये कुछ बहुत
Sorry?
बड़ा काम करने वाली है क्योंकि ये बहुत नर्वस होती है और उस वजह से भूल जाती है और इसको कैसे समझाऊंगा
Yes, she is
शी
nervous.
हैज फीलिंग्स फॉर
Yeah,
एंटोनियो तो उसके सामने इस वजह से भी नर्वस हो सकती है
yeah, because also she's in love. And she does say, take pen and ink and write. And she forgets what to write. Are you ready? He's ready with the pen and the paper and the ink, but he doesn't know what to write. What did I say? And she forgets. What did she say? She's not. She's saying things, but she's not conscious about what she's saying. That I should write somewhat. Oh, I remember. Yeah. And then she continues. After these triumphs and this large expense, now that I have the triumphs that I have made, the large expenses that we have had. It's fit, like thrifty husbands, means like good husbands who keep a budget. We inquire what is laid up for tomorrow. I need to know what do I have in my treasury now. This is what she asks for the pen and paper for. So please, your beauty is excellence. You must, it means. So please, your beauty is excellence. Uh, Antonio, play your part. Beauteous? Indeed, I thank you. I look young for your sake. You have ta'en my cares upon you. Ta'en means taken. You have ta'en my cares upon
I, I'll fetch your grace the particulars of your revenue and expense.
you. Oh, you are an upright treasurer, but you mistook. For when I said I meant to make inquiry what is laid up for tomorrow, I did mean what is laid up yonder for me
Where?
in heaven. I am making my will, as 'tis fit princes should in perfect memory, and I pray, sir, tell me, were not one better make it smiling thus, than in deep groans and terrible ghastly looks, as if the gifts we parted with procured that violent distraction? What she
Oh,
means is
much
that
better.
I think it's not that one should make his or her will when they are old, when they are groaning and their looks are ghastly. And the gifts that we have procured for so long, it's so hard to get rid of them, to be parted from these. So instead of having a feeling like that, I wanted to do at in my young age. Continue.
Oh, much better.
If I had a husband now, this care were quit. अगर मेरा husband होता ये मेरा काम था ही नहीं. This care were quit. This care were quit. ये काम मेरा था ही नहीं. But I intend to make you overseer. What good deed shall we first remember? Say,
Begin with the first good deed. Begin in the world after man's creation, the sacrament of marriage. I would have you first provide for a good husband. Give him all.
so he says, I want you to begin with what everything began with. Begin with that. That first good deed began in the world. The first deed, good deed that began in the world. Antonio is also of the opinion that marriage is the best sacrament of the universe to have started in the world. And you must also begin with that first man. Come on, next. All
Uh, yes, Your Excellency.
in a winding sheet.
couple.
Saint Winifred. That were a strange will.
Were strange if there were no will in you to marry again.
What do you think of marriage?
I would take it as those that deny purgatory. It locally contains or heaven or hell. There's no third place in it.
How do you affect it?
My banishment, feeding my melancholy, would often reason does.
Pray, let's hear it.
Say a man never marry, nor have children.
Wait,
What takes
wait.
that from him?
Just a second. So the Duchess is aghast to know that he is saying, "Let you must begin with a good
No,
husband, provide a good husband." The Duchess says all it, and she's aghast to know should she give everything to one single person. Antonio says, "Yes, your excellent self." The Duchess says, "In a winding sheet." In a winding sheet means
ma'am, एक second.
in a winding sheet means the rest of it.
मैम आप कुछ पूछ रही हैं सवाल?
In a winding sheet, yes.
मेरे पापा का phone, shroud.
A shroud. Do you want me to give everything to a shroud? Means he is dead and everything will be lost. I mean, it will be up to him to give it to someone. And he replies, "No, not in a winding sheet, not to a single man, to a single shroud, in a couple." Means it will be you and your husband that will have everything. Saint Winifred. It's like she's saying the name of the great saint, like Mary. Saint Winifred, that were a strange will. Now, why would she call it strange will? Because this is something strange for that age, for that age, because it would generally be distributed to more than one person, and not everything would go to a single person, a single man, but it will be equally distributed. Or maybe not equally, but it would be distributed. And she says it's a strange will for that time. This property division is very strange. It was strange if it were no will in you to marry again. The strange thing would have been if you did not wish to marry. Now, this line lays down hints that Antonio is also interested in marrying her, but he never knew that this widow will ever be willing to marry again, because in this time widows did not remarry. And after this dropping of the idea in a couple, she says that were a strange will. Antonio says, no, strange it would have been strange had you not have the will to marry again. एक तरफ से ये उगलवाना भी चाहता है, दूसरी तरफ से बताना भी चाहता है. What do you think of marriage? Now, the Duchess also counters it that she will not straight away give you an answer if she is willing or not, but she would play on it because she is the Duchess, of course. I take it as those that deny purgatory. It locally contains or heaven or hell. There is no third place in it. There must be some mistake in this word or before heaven. It locally contains. So what he says is that marriage is something that can function as a purgatory, that you can be clean of sins if you remain in marriage. It locally contains of heaven or hell. There is no third place in it. So it locally contains or heaven or hell means this is about also that deny purgatory is there are the schism that is already there in Christianity is one who believe in purgatory, that there is a process of purgation, that you confess and you are cleaned of sin. But those who do not believe in purgatory, that you cannot confess your sins to a pope and get rid of them, are the ones who are called Protestants. For them, it locally contains heaven or hell. For them, the hell and heaven is here in this sacrament of marriage. They can choose to go to hell or to heaven. Also, Those who believe in purgatory are the Catholic Christians who believe saints cannot marry. Whereas the Protestants, which overtly it appears Antonio and Duchess are, the Protestants, for them, marriage is the sacrament that can save them from hell and lead them to the heaven. And there is no third place in it, which means that cubicle where you can confess your sins, that is the third place. And we, as deniers of purgatory, do not believe in that third place. Is it clear for you? Does this need more
Yes, ma'am.
explanation?
No, ma'am.
Okay. How do you affect it? How do you affect means it? Tell me more about it. What do you think about it? Then my banishment led me to have this opinion, and then Antonio finally says, "Say a man never marry. Say a man never marry nor have children. What takes that from him? Only the bare name of being a father, or the weak delight to see the little wanton ride a cock horse upon a painted stick, or hear him chatter like a tot, startling." Now he says about these popes who do not marry. What does it give them? The Duchess and Antonio are here now. Duchess is throwing questions like a Catholic, and Antonio is answering like a Protestant. Say a man never marry nor have children. If we are supposed to not marry, not have children, what does that take from a man? How does it keep him from sins? But all that he doesn't have is the name of a father. And that's not sinful to be a father. Then, after that, or the weak delight to see the little wanton ride a cock horse. The little wanton is
Child.
the pleasure of a child playing. This is all that you can not have. And that again is not a sin to watch a child riding a cock horse upon a painted stick or hear him chatter like a taught starling. So he talks about the beauty of marriage, of being a father or fatherhood. The Duchess says, "Fie, fie, what's all this? One of your eyes is bloodshot. Use my ring to it." The ring would, at that time, the